Okay, so this will be the continuation ng discussion natin last week. So, we'll be starting with nested if. So, kung naalala nyo yung last time, so we are done with if else, we have if else if. Now, ito yung mas complex na version niya. Whereas, within the if, meron ka pang condition. Okay, so bakit kailangan natin na i-discuss to? Kasi in real world decision making, so typically, hindi naman nalilimit yung mga problems natin into true or false na answer lang. Possibly, meron pang mga deeper details na kailangan i-accomplish within the specific problem para mas mabigay natin yung concrete solution within that. Now, doon papasok ngayon yung nested if natin. Okay, so ano mga kailangan nating tandaan whenever we are starting to code na naka-nested if? Okay? So, first thing, let's try to check the definition of nested if. So, the statement executed as a result of an if statement or else clause could be another if statement. There are called nested if statements. So, ibig sabihin lang to simply, I have your outer if, and then once you satisfied that outer if, papasok ka within the body, and then within the body ng if na yon, meron ka pa uling ma-encounter na if. And possibly, kung mas complex pa yung if mo within that particular if, meron pa uling if sa loob. And so on. Okay? So, ganun yung flow ng nested if. Okay, so you have your outer if na kailangan satisfy. So, once na nag-true yung condition, so papasok siya dun sa loob to execute again yung inner if sa loob niya. Now, so this is the one thing to remember whenever we are dealing with nested if. So, indentation or whenever we indent dun sa if natin, so it doesn't mean na yun ay inner if. So, we are using here curly brackets for us to specify ano ba yung inner if sa outer if. If you could still remember yung discussion natin last week, sobrang importante ng paggamit ng curly braces kasi nga dito mo makikita yung scope ng body ng if mo. So dito sa part na to, mas essential siya, especially nagiging mas mahaba na yung code natin dito. Okay, so mamaya I'll be giving one concrete example kung paano nagagamit yung curly braces, and then also you could maximize the use of indentation para mas madaling ma-monitor yung code natin. Pero again, hindi ibig sabihin na naka-indent, yun na yung inner if. Okay? Ang pinaka-identifier natin for inner if and outer if is yung curly braces or curly brackets. Okay? Okay, so let's try to look with the syntax ng if natin. Okay, so if you could see here, so lagyan natin ng curly brackets or curly braces para malaman natin yung scope. So technically, so this one, so ayan, dito, makikita natin na ito yung outer if natin. Okay, and then we have here a condition na kailangan satisfy. So typically, once na mag-true yung condition ito, so automatically, papasok yan dito sa body. Again, this will be our curly braces. So ito yung identifier natin ng scope ng if na to. Now, dahil nag-true yung condition natin dun sa outer if natin, papasok tayo within the curly brackets or curly braces, and then we could encounter one if or two or more ifs pa sa loob. Okay? Now, in this case, yung if na to, so we need to satisfy this one, and then once na mag-true yung condition nito, it will display the statement, else kung mag-false naman siya, so pupunta siya dito. Okay? So, ganun lang naman siya. So, typically. Again, mamaya I'll be giving an example pa ng code na mas appropriate para dito. Para makita natin kung paano siya talaga nagwo-work. So, in this example, so we are implementing nested if. Okay, so let's try to check this one. So again, I use in for inputting a value or asking input from the user. So in this part ng code natin, so magtatanong tayo ng input from the user, and then i-hold siya ni variable num. Okay, so ito.
Now, let's try to assume na nag-input yung user natin ng 10 for num. Okay? So, dahil nag-input siya ng 10, so basically, i-handle siya dito ni num na variable. Now, the idea of this code is that it will identify a number kung positive, negative, or zero pa siya. So, paano siya ma-identify? So, let's try to simulate this one. Okay. So, dahil 10 yung in-input natin ni user, okay, so test natin siya, is 10 not equal 0. So, alam naman natin, as we all know, 10 is not equal 0. So, this will be true. And dahil true siya, so take note, papasok siya within the body ng if na yan. So, dito mga magagamit ngayon yung curly braces. Okay, ito yung curly brace niya para sa scope ng outer if natin. So, ayan. Okay, so from here to here, ito yung magiging scope niya nung nag-true siya. Now, so dahil nag-true yung condition natin, so automatically papasok siya within the body, makakita siya again ng isang if. Okay? Ang value ng num natin is 10. Again, itetest uli natin yung num natin. Is 10 greater than 0? Okay, automatically 10 is greater than 0. So, it will display this statement saying that yung number na in-input ni user is a positive value. Okay, so let's try to have another example. Okay, so this one, so let's try to have negative 10 for num. Okay, so if we have negative 10, so negative 10 is not equal to 0, so technically this will be true. Again, pasok siya dito sa inner if. Okay, so again, negative 10 greater than 0. So negative 10 is not greater than 0. So this will be false. So dahil false yung condition, so hindi niya gagawin yung part na to, it will look for another condition and typically masasatisfy siya dito sa else clause natin or else statement, and then it will display a negative number or negative integer or this prompt. Okay? So ayan. So basically ganito lang nag-work yung nested if natin. So now, let's try to look for another example. Okay, simulan natin yung coding from the start.